nothing back over here, so we're just going to keep moving forward, keep shooting, keep shooting. Okay, he's down. Mana Siphoner, he's down. Another rare back there, I think with Temporal Bubble. I'm going to go over a few things from you guys had from the comment section, as well as some changes to my build with the introducing a new crossbow and a new ring, and then replacing my gloves. Nothing special really going on with that, but I will get into it. It's just more damage from the crossbow, more res from the ring, and a change in the gloves just because when I corrupted them to get +1 frenzy, I wanted to sell them. So I think they're up for 28 exalts right now. So first off, the damage nerf from Infusion no longer working with Herald of Thunder. So because of this, what I'm doing is I'm changing my supports. Oh, that is not what I was looking for. So we're going to go over my supports again, but I'm going to be a little bit faster since you already you should already understand the way that the build operates. So for Galvanic shards, so let me also preface, I've added in different supports from the last video, not just for the infusion changes, but also because there is I found out that there was a lot of damage I was putting. I was actually leaving on the table, so I've added a bunch of damage in, and it feels really good. So martial tempo for attack speed, which I had before. Primal armament for more weapon elemental damage. Somebody in chat had asked, isn't weapon elemental damage only really affect the damage on my weapon, like just doubles the damage on my weapon or whatever, or 25%? That's not true. So if I take out weapon elemental damage, I lose 400 DPS, which in this case is 25%. Lightning Infusion is now on Galvanic shards because without that, I lose a lot of damage, 600 damage. And then Conduction for the chance to shock, which I believe I had this in the build before. Shock burst rounds are martial tempo. Crossbow attacks cannot have a 25% chance to not consume a bolt. Fresh clip, which shout out to Very Metal 6999 for bringing this up in the comments. A lot of damage. Let me just show you. So right now it's 5296, and once I reload 6195, it should get up to like almost 7,000. Yeah, 7100, because in the last 6 seconds I have loaded quite a bit of ammo into the clip. See, it even goes up to almost 8k as long as I keep shooting. Now obviously you're not going to be shooting that much with it, but it does give you a considerable damage boost. And then lastly, Lightning Infusion again, because of Gemling. Obviously, if you are not Gemling and you don't have 2 supports, you can replace this with any other damaging support that's in there or that's out there. Probably, I think Elemental, what's the one? Hang on. Yeah, Elemental Focus. Because you don't really care about shock burst rounds actually shocking, you care about it doing the damage after the shock. So for Herald of Thunder, I've got Cannibalism, like in the previous video. Electrocute, which I'll get into that in a second. And then Magnified Effect, because I used a lesser orb on it today. So I have a clip that I'm going to show you on how Electrocute operates with Herald of Thunder. All right, a couple of you were asking how I get Electrocute chance on my build, and I have the Electrocute build up from the tree, but I don't have any Electrocute on Galvanic shards. Where I have Electrocute chance is from Herald of Thunder. So as you'll see, it does 40% less damage, but the electrocution buildup comes from the damage from this skill. Now, the only damage from Herald of Thunder is the bolt, right? So it's going to shoot whenever I have stacks. So right now I have 1 stack, right? Let me go kill a pack and I'll show you. So the first mob that I hit, only the first one was electrified. because, or electrocuted. And that is only because I had only one bolt in my charge counter. So, but now I have 3. I'll show you the first 3 mobs that I attack with Galvanic shards in the next pack will be electrified or electrocuted. Once I find one. See, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we have Overwhelming Presence with Cannibalism. Again, choose another support skill or support gem for Overwhelming Presence if you're not a Gemling. Precision for accuracy, and then Clarity. I just put it in today because I had the Spirit. I had 11 Spirit left over from all these minus this, so I just added it in for the extra mana regen. Voltaic Mark with Persistence, Excretate, or still can't... execrate. Still can't pronounce that. And Lasting Shock. I did some testing, and it appears it's hard to do the full like wait for the mob to chase me while I count the seconds down for how long it's been shocked test, but it appeared to work. If in your testing you find out that it doesn't work and I'm just being a goof, please let me know in the comments. Emergency reload, we're using Ingenuity and emergency reload. We have Ingenuity for cooldown recovery rate, Premeditation for empowering the skill for more damage, and then Murderous Intent, which I just put this in. I actually don't know if it's really working or not. I'll have to do some testing today on stream, which I will be on stream tonight on Twitch, probably in the next 35 to 40 minutes from now. Or after this video is released, to test it out. And then Plasma Blast, which I don't use very often, but whenever I do use it, it's very, very good. Lightning Exposure for the extra lightning exposure on the enemy. I don't have it anywhere else. Lasting Shock, which increases the shock duration that it almost 100%, if not 100% of the time, does shock, so it just lasts longer. Increased effect for the exposure. And then more skill effect duration for the exposure and the shock duration. I haven't quite tested if Persistence works with that, but because a duration tag was added because of lightning exposure, I'm able to put in Persistence. If you did not have lightning exposure in there, it is not socketable. But because lightning exposure gives a duration tag, you can. So test it. Let me know what you think in the comments if you have tested it and you like it. Still, this skill is insane damage. So, yeah. So let's move on. I have a clip of the dual crossbows clip from Twitch in the description. Feel free to take a look at that if you don't know how to set up your dual crossbow setup. Okay, yeah. So for the exact aura setup that I have, you will need 10 extra spirit from your gear. Now, the good thing is you don't need that if you don't use clarity. If you take out clarity, I have 11 spirit. You don't need clarity in your build if you don't have the extra spirit, which would be you only get 100 spirit from the campaign. Okay. Now, there was another thing that I did not talk about in the video, but a friend of mine brought it up to me. Shout out to Captain Carl, where you can actually cut a gem of the lowest type that you can, just to increase your chances of this. And for this, I did it on shock burst rounds. Let me pull this out. See, I did this a few times. So shock burst rounds by default has 2 sockets. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a socket to it. And as you can see, it's got 3 sockets at the top right. You can use a Veil Orb to attempt to get to 4 sockets on shock burst. And you can do this for all of your gems so that you can get up to 5 links. And I don't know what the chance exactly is. I'll have to look it up, or you'll have to look it up if you want to know. But it is possible for you to corrupt and get a 4th socket. which I have done on my shock burst rounds. It is corrupted and it has 4 sockets. Just a little tidbit. Hopefully that, that's good for you. You have a lot of Veil Orbs, or you're able to buy Veil Orbs and some Lesser Jeweler Orbs to do this test. I did the test last night with the 2 other skills, and it did work, but one of my skills I got incredibly unlucky. I think I went through like 14 gems before it worked. Okay, and then I'm gonna show off the new gear. So this is not new. This was my primary crossbow in my previous video. This is my new crossbow. So we found out that flat lightning damage in this case for this bow, with LE damage with attacks, actually did increase the damage of my skills considerably. And I'll show you. So if I assign, let's see. Well, you can just see it from here. Crossbow shot by itself, my old crossbow was 4210 and the new one is 5846. Considerable DPS increased. So if you can't afford this crossbow, there is a way to do this. I don't know if it's going to make crossbows go up in the future that has physical damage, but the recommendation is try to buy the least costing crossbow with the highest percent physical damage that you can get, preferably 160 or 165% or more, and then buy it with at least 1 prefix open, and then use an exalted orb to slam on flat fizz. We tried doing that with this. It already had the LE damage with attacks, and then we slammed on 4 to 119 lightning damage, found out it actually worked just fine. Then I tried to corrupt it for an extra socket, and I didn't get anything from the corrupt. So keep that in mind if you ever need a crossbow upgrade. My gloves still tri-res. I did some slamming on this to get lightning damage to attacks, which is not a slouch. It's actually it's not bad. It can be a whole lot better, but it is more damage. And some cold res. Plus my gloves before were armor. These are evasion rating. Obviously energy shield's not the best base. You can just go flat evasion, which I'm doing on this build going forward. That will be one of my defense mechanics. And then obviously cold res. I got this insane ring for, I think it was 10 or 15 exalts. I can't remember exactly. And it had, it was like 9 to all LE res. I think it was like 23 or 24% lightning res, and then 8 or so elemental res on the implicit with like 70 life. I divined it once and I got, and it, to try to pump up the LE res, and it went higher just by 1 because the implicit went bottom roll, right? More life. I got more int on this as well, and the fizz damage actually went up as well, which is no dead stat. This puts me at almost capped res for fire, lightning, and cold, minus 1% for cold. And my chaos res is being taken care of by, I don't know if I showed off these boots before, but 140 life, 20% chaos res boots, and then some 22% chaos res here with 9% chaos res here. I think I have chaos res. Yeah. And then 6 chaos res on my amulet. I'm still using Cloak of Flame. I'm going to be testing today during stream if going Cloak of Flame is better than just going full on evasion. I'm actually going to be looking at changing my tree to take more defensive nodes, because I'm getting to a point in the maps where while I am killing them pretty quickly, I want to be able to have a defense mechanic and don't feel so squishy. Because I'm used to running like Righteous Fire back in Path of Exile 1, which is super tanky, and falling over doesn't feel very good. I think that's about it. Yeah. All right. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. I try to get to every single question that you guys ask in the comments. They've been great. I really appreciate the engagement there. If you do like this video, please like it down below, and then subscribe. That actually really helps the channel. Once I get to 500 subscriptions, that will actually help improve my channel to the next, get my channel to the next level. So anyway, take care, you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.